The Mesa, Arizona housing market, what is going to happen? Is there going to be a crash? Is the bottom going to fall out? Today, I'm going to share with you some data and some information so that way you have the best info possible when it comes to making a decision whether you're looking to buy, sell, just for the future when it comes to moving to Arizona, specifically the Mesa area, which is the largest suburb of Phoenix with around 500,000 people. So hopefully you find this somewhat useful, but welcome to the channel. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Rich Brecklin, your Arizona real estate agent with ΓEA Broker. Of course, if you're looking to move here, you know what to do. Reach out through text, call, email, Instagram, whatever works for you. Happy to help you out. So to kick this off, I'm going to share with you an article talking about rates. Now, if you haven't been paying attention, rates, they were peaked and then peaked. They started to go up in May, and then in the fall they were up to near 7.5. Everyone's freaking out. Buyers put the brakes on, and that's when we really saw homes sitting. And here in Phoenix Metro, we saw our inventory get to over 17,000 homes, which is honestly normal. But from what it felt like was it felt like a buying frenzy. But now we've fallen to under 12,000. But I suspect that number is going to start trickling upward based on this information and what we're seeing. So in this article, it talks about rates jumping over 7% or right around 7.1, as inflation fears drive yields higher. And that is what we've been seeing with the 10-year treasury and everything there. So paying attention to those numbers. And what I want to share with my buyers out there, especially ones who are on the fence, is it does not look like there's any indication that it is going to fall again. Again, I'm not Nostradamus, can't predict what's going to happen. And I remember right before COVID, they were talking about rates going up, and then COVID happened, and then rates just, fell out, and buyers loved it. And that's, helped create this frenzy of home shortage, and everyone wanted to buy a home. But in this article, goes over with these rates and what they're doing and what it means for buyers. And it's going to make things, it's going to make things more expensive, obviously. Now, average price here being around $500,000, a 7% rate compared to a 6% rate, is roughly $300 a month. Now, for some people, that's negligible. That's just, that's a cost of owning a home. Some people, it may push them completely out, and if their budget is already stretched thin, it may just stop them from buying altogether. Now, when that continues, I don't know. But for right now, it's something to pay attention to and, just track. We can't do anything about it, but there are some strategies and some tactics to help get you a lower rate. And I can talk about that as well. And I'm going to in this video. But first, I want to go over the Crawford Report specifically for Mesa, because that's what I said I was going to talk about today, and what we're seeing. And in my other videos, when I've talked about the changes that we're seeing in the market, again, a lot of these are lagging indicators based on where rates fell, in January, and then they started to pick back up in February. So we're seeing these lagging indicators. And I think when the numbers come out for the end of March, April, if rates continue, then we're going to see a lot of more red than we do green. So right now in Mesa, now this is all the active listings. However, just when it comes to single family detached, which is one of my main metrics I track, there are 740 homes for sale right now in Mesa, and average days on market of those homes that are listed is around 80 days. So I know this says 91, but that's all homes detached, single family, unattached, condos, that kind of thing. But that's not my main focus. So the numbers are going to be off, but just slightly. But look, they're all up from last month and up from last quarter, which is good. Now, we're not where we were a year or two ago, but again, that was completely different times. I really don't want to even put much focus on that, because that is not normal. Just where we are now and what to expect for the future. Now, sales are still down, but again, that's expected when rates jumped up. And then days on market fell from last month, but up from last quarter, definitely up from last year and 2 years ago. And month supply of inventory. So that fell, and it fell quite a bit from where it was last month and last quarter. But again, that's when rates had gone up, and then they settled back down January, February. So we're seeing homes sell a little faster. We saw it turn back to a seller's market, and that buyer's market was over really quick. But now, what does this mean when rates are going in the sevens? So sellers, be prepared. If you're not going to price your home right, it is going to sit Also, be prepared for the discussion of a seller concession when your home does start collecting days, when more inventory creeps up. And for some buyers, that may be what it takes to negate that $300 difference per month that I mentioned. Now, we're still at a decent average list to sales price. Now, that's not original list. That's, say they started at 500 and they dropped it to 475, it is the percent sales price percent list based on that 475, not the original. So just something that if you're tracking that metric here, listing success rate, again, this is across the board, but at Mesa, we're almost at 80%, which is a really good spot. Definitely up from where we were last quarter, which is 58%. Again, rates peaked up. That is the result we get. So watching this metric every day almost, it'll be interesting to see where that goes. And I'm going to do more of these so that way you can see the trends. And if you're looking to make that move, you kind of use that information of, all right, here's where we need to be. And then we can use that also in negotiating to make sure you are getting the best deal possible. Because most of my clients are moving here. They're not moving here just because they're bored, wanting to buy a house, or, they're moving here for work. They want to be in Arizona, and they're buying here regardless of what the market and rates say. And again, that's a decision you have to make. Are you comfortable with this payment? And is this a home you truly love? And on the flip side, with these rates going up, I think it's also going to keep inventory in check somewhat, because there's going to be sellers who don't want to trade in their low rate and they love their home, and their motivation for buying is not going to be that strong. So we'll see how this plays out as it goes on. But I was surprised to see that the average monthly sales price dropped, especially the trends we're seeing across the market, and the fact that it is below 500 still. We're down from last month and from where we were last quarter, and we're definitely down from where we were a year ago, but up from 2 years ago, and really good from where a homeowner would be 3 years ago. So again, keep an eye on that number. And then contract ratio being in the 80s, seller's market, Crawford market index being at 145. Again, statistically on paper, that makes it a seller's market, but again, lagging indicators. So moving forward, what does this look like? The good thing is Mesa has a lot of pros, a lot of job development, and there's still people coming here and moving here. But with the market changes, with the rate changes, inflation, and everything else, if you're looking to buy Mesa, then maybe just wait a second, unless you're moving here right away. But waiting also means your rate is probably going to be higher. So again, it's a balancing act of determining what you want. So if you see the home you want now, but you're willing to wait and potentially pay higher, and again, that's a discussion have with yourself and your financial team, and go there. But if you want my advice, obviously reach out, call. Happy to help any way I can. These are just the numbers, and the numbers don't lie. So this is just what we're seeing. So right now, technically on paper, seller's market, rates are jumping though. And we'll see what this means for the future. Obviously, if you're looking to make the move to Arizona, first, subscribe to this channel. Follow me on Instagram. Send me a message. Always happy to help. Watch this next video, and I will see you on the next one. It's Rich Brecklin, Real Broker, your Arizona real estate agent. Take care.